What's up, folks? Seems to be a all too familiar sight with this vehicle. I mean, it seems to be like a kitty cat. Got 9 lives at the moment. It's been over a week. Yeah, I got the cylinder head back from the machine shop today. Cost of it, they wound up being like $321. They shaved, clean. We had to wind up replacing all the exhaust valves and replaced he put some used intake, I'm sorry, not intake, but exhaust valves in it that he had laying around, because I had another head laying around, I want to say, up there. Yeah, I guess he took some spare parts out of. But the main thing was we needed new exhaust guides, and we got all new valve seals. So it was completely done, inspected, and so here we are. Not saying that it's a bad idea to put a used exhaust valve in there, but I mean it got a valve job, got inspected, and everything got replaced that was needed this go round. Not saying it didn't do it last go round, but hopefully you understand the context of what I mean. Just when you involve humans, us people doing things, you can't predict unforeseen circumstances. So things happen. I'm not blaming him for anything. It's just I'm just gonna blame it on my luck. I got the luck of a tennis shoe just worn out with the marathon athlete's tennis shoe. It just gets me down. But the piston tops are clean. Intake manifolds cleaned. I got the surface prepped. I'm gonna go through it one more time with some brake cleaner. I'm gonna reuse the head bolt, so I thought I was gonna get some new ones, but I didn't. I did get a new head gasket set. Here's the cylinder head. It looks pretty, you know, looks good and done. There's our new valve seals. That's for the intake. Here's the exhaust side here. Got new valve seals and stuff. But like I said, mainly we needed valve guides. Those are what it failed. That were bad. I can't remember the cylinder that was jacked up. I think it was number 3. But yeah, it was number 3. Should have been this one here. But we got some good looking exhaust valves. I mean, he did a great job. I can't tell which ones are original or newer. We got a valve job, and we got some valves. I know you can see the pitting on the intake valves, but usually when I get burnt valves, it's usually the exhaust side. I got gaskets and seals and stuff. Yeah, unfortunately forgot to put my bolts back in there. Luckily I have a bunch of Honda stuff laying around bolt wise. I want to say y'all seen me put these together, but being that this video is probably going to be pretty short, maybe I'll just get some shots of me assembling everything. Maybe because this is going to be the long form. I mean, this is just it's going to be repetitive. I have to assemble put the cam in, put the VTEC return springs back in there, cam pedestal, get that torque down. I'm going to put some anaerobic sealing around those little corners, torque the cam pedestal down, and adjust the valves, get everything installed in reverse order. I don't want to make it long and drawn out, but at the same time I'm not really right in the mental state to provide any commentary and willing to record all this crap, to be honest with you. Long story, but I'll tell you what, I'll get some shots putting this cam and the pedestal back in. I mean, it's kind of fun assembling it, but I really wouldn't expect much of commentary from me at the moment. So just give me a minute. It's gonna be my second time doing a rundown, because I evidently I left the key in the on position and killed the battery. I'm gonna put it on start. Yeah, evidently I killed the battery. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit while I go over some basic stuff. I already went through the basics. I'm just gonna take 2, go back over it again. So far, made sure my spark plug wires are put together,
coolant temp sensor, coolant temp sender on the bottom. You know, coolant hose. I got coolant in the vehicle. I don't have it filled all the way up because I got to burp it, get some of the air out. I have oil in it. The oil is topped off. She had too much oil in it, so we're right there at the full mark. New filter, drain plug washer. I'm not sure how I was leaking oil at the drain plug, but it won't when it left here. So I guess, you know, something happened. Other than that, I didn't take much off. I took even less off this time to get the head off. And oh, so it's not the same day. It's actually the next day. I mentally, I just wasn't in the right spot yesterday to work. So I just said, you know what, I went to my brother's house and watched him put his intake on his old Scamp, his old vehicle. Watch him do it. So I just went there, man. Anyway, let me let this charger for about 5 minutes or until the start indicator come on the charger. Then we'll start it up. I mean, because right now, I mean, that battery was making 3 volts, and I'm not sure how, but it went over a pre-start inspection, so I'm sure everything's going to work fine. I got everything hooked up, knock sensor and oil pressure switch in the back. If y'all know, you know, doing these motors, when you pull the heads off like I do, I mean, you can break the knock sensor, and I've done several. Forget about it. But this one, nope. It actually disconnected itself and it saved itself. So, oh, actually, it's ready. Let's start it up. Here goes nothing. Oh, you know what? Let me turn this fan off so we can hear everything. I expect to misfire this ever so slightly. Clear itself out. It's running good now. Perfect. Make sure the oil circulating. Hold on. Yeah. So we got oil movement. Good. Sounds amazing, actually. Oh yeah, the misfire's gone. Up. Well, it cleared itself out. That was the first snap throttle. The biggest thing is it doesn't misfire under load, so when you snap it, it doesn't hesitate. It takes the fuel and it continues on revving up, so that's a great sign. The camera's not even vibrating, you know. The camera's not moving. This thing is running extremely well. Cool. No air in the coolant system. No air in the cooling system. I reused the head bolts, torqued it down at 22 foot-pounds and did 260 degrees. That's about 9 o'clock. And which equate to about 110 foot-pounds, somewhere around about that. Some of them clicked, most of them didn't. Cool. I think we're good. We're in good shape. All right, if you see me do 1, 2, 3, 4, oh guys, my storage is full. Guys, I'll start off doing these motors, and this is
I can work on these blindfolded. I've rebuilt several of these, and things happen, unfortunately. You know, despite me doing a bunch of them, despite me being fast and efficient, things happen. I wasn't in control over the fact that the valve burned up. I'm going to consider it environmental. That's all I can say. Nothing. The only thing that we could have done was being proactive, which would have been essentially just rolling the dice and taking the guesses, just replacing all the valves, and when doing the valve job originally, and it was pretty much up to the machinist to do that. And unfortunately, maybe he overlooked something. I don't know. But they had a lot of miles on it. At the time, they were fine. Can't do nothing about it. Can't do nothing. The only thing I can do is test drive it, and after 100 miles, give it to the client. Make sure, after I triple check my work, and if everything's fine, I assume everything's fine. But you don't know how the client's driving the car. They could be driving it hard, aggressively. And the girl do paper deliveries with this vehicle, in case y'all want to know. I probably can answer some of the other questions in there. The one I can think of was people probably inquiring, price-wise, if this even is a good investment. And I say like this, a person can get into a car payment for a $25,000 car and be paying $5,000-$6,000 a year, or they can just spend it in 1 year in a 30-year-old car and be in the best shape and be saving money, assuming that everything works fine. If you get a good mechanic, somebody that can honor their work and is honest, if something happens within the warranty phase, they're covered. If they're proactive, if the client does their job as far as being proactive of keeping everything up to date, in case something do happen, you have your best chances of success. But things happen. There's no way around it. If you look at some of my videos, you see that despite putting brand new parts on the vehicles, they prematurely fail. I've had parts fail right out the box. We overlook things. Things happen. There ain't nothing I'm in control over. Her financial situation is solely up to her. I've been working on her family cars for almost a decade now, and I know she's very hard on vehicles, and based off of her lifestyle and her situations, I do my job and she get taken care of. So everybody got their own financial situation. Now, you get some people that have money and don't want to spend a dime paying for diagnosis. You get some people who are adamant about getting their car fixed, and you assume they don't have any money, and they're proactive. They're one of your best clients. You can't just go off a perception of what a person may have because of the age of the car. If you ask me, she's making a good financial decision. I know what my capabilities are. Even though we have a history of this vehicle and what she's been through when she got the vehicle from Facebook Marketplace, it runs better, transmissions replaced, engines rebuilt. Unfortunately, I had to go through it again, but everything's fine. Besides, how she decided to keep the interior of the car, the heart of it and the powertrain works perfect. That's what's most important. It's not what's on the outside that counts. It's what's on the inside. And this vehicle, I know I've done my job. And keeping her going. So, it's hard to sit there and say like, hey, it's a dumb investment. Look, I've had clients do hell, even myself, for example. When I first got my car, I would blow that damn thing up. But the difference is it got to the point where my grandparents, instead of them putting motors in it, I started doing it myself. And next thing you know, I started rebuilding my own motor. Next thing you know, I'm building turbo kits and making performance parts and stuff like that. And next thing you know, I'm doing it for a living. So, everybody's different. Everybody got that forte. Mine's happened to develop into a career. So I'm not going to sit there and tell a client what they can and can't do, because like I said, I got a variety of them, people that try their own stuff and screw up, and they got to bring it back to me, and they eventually get better with it and more familiar with their stuff. Some people want to keep buying new vehicles, and I don't see them but once a year. And what do? That's why you have a lot of clients. And when you have a lot of clients, well, you deal with the infrequent ones and the frequent ones, and that is what keep you steady overall. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's her money. Let her blow it the way she want to. And it take $1 to make me holler. So, hey, look, this is put back together again. Has an opportunity at life for like the 8th time. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it shouldn't come back for anything else. I'm gonna put my 50 miles on it, triple check my work, and go from there. But hey, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe channel, stay informed, have that reassurance on my work. See you on the next one.